got up in my jeans, went to the bathroom. He said the toilet seat was up. There's no piss in it. Went in the bathroom, flicked the light on, lift the toilet seat, and just pissed my pants. Forgot to do the last step, which is taking your dick out, and just pissed my pants, walked back, took the pants off, and laid in bed.
We're recording this on my 45th birthday, and I
did
say with no irony this morning to my girlfriend, alrighty dighty. I said alrighty dighty, and I didn't say it in a voice. I didn't say it ironically. I just said alrighty dighty. I'm going to get out of here. Alrighty dighty.
Why? Why are you doing
all
this?
This stuff just it creeps up on you. You know, I think I'm losing. I think I'm in the middle of a midlife crisis for years.
You think you're going to live till 90? All right. Hey, I like the optimism here. Happy birthday. Happy 45th.
Thank you,
friend. We had fun at your party.
We did. And people were really mad because I was saying it's so funny. I feel like Pacino in Godfather 3 because every year I've had one every year since my 40th, and it was so much fun. And it's always packed and it's fun. And I thought this year would be really low key because I did it last minute. I did it on a weekday, and comics just like still came out. I was really touched. I was really, I was into it. But I said on the thing, I'm like, in the post, I said, I think this is the last one for a bit because it's 45.
Everybody thought you were killing yourself.
I know. They took that. That shows you how I come off.
No, that just shows you comics pessimism. They're like, I think Donnelly's off on himself. Yeah. No, it was just you, I think, kind of saying like, I don't really feel the need to have a birthday anymore. But here's the thing, Sean.
Yeah.
Is that it has become so much more than just your birthday celebration at this yearly event at Patty's.
Right.
It is kind of known as like an unofficial like comedians expo or something. Not expo, but like comedians I don't know what you'd call it.
Like ball?
Yeah, like a
drunken ball of some sort?
Like a State of the Union almost.
Is that how it's really thought of?
I think so, man. Like everybody goes there. Everybody expects it. Everybody knows exactly the certain traditions that are involved with it, which usually it's you being there and we are throwing a party for you acting as if you had just gotten out of prison every year. And every single person that walks in the door, whether it's me who you saw that like the day before or talked to on the phone, you go, ah! And you do that and you're like excited and everybody's like,
I just become a 6-year-old girl at her Sweet 16. I just like
You do it. You have a yearly Sweet 16. And then there is also the other tradition of trying to leave.
Yes, that's a go-to, and I've been called on it so much. Now I feel it's hacky if I do the same thing, but...
No, the Sean Donnelly Peer Pressure Award.
The Where You Going?
Yeah.
Where you going?
Where you going?
Sean Donnelly. What are you talking? What do you mean? It's like the opposite of an Irish... That's like people... I'm forcing people into Irish goodbying.
Yeah.
Because they're like, I just don't want to deal with the bullshit.
I overheard a conversation... that somebody was like, hey, they were like, oh, you leaving? Yeah. They were like, make sure not to say bye to Donnelly because he's going to try to keep you. And they were like, oh, no. I know the drill.
Who was it?
I forget who. It might have been Kunal, but I think he did come say bye to you. But it was just so funny that it's such a known thing now.
People, you know what's so funny? It's like, how about this, everybody who's come to my parties and actually stayed because I said it? I don't know. Be an adult. Make your own decisions. Give me some disappointing news. You should be flattered. I want you to stay. But yeah, I know it's. But it also becomes like a little bit much when I'm like, come on.
I think it's
doing?
funny. I get a real kick out of it. But again,
it was a blast. I had a blast, but I am getting too old. As you know, I'm kind of a stepfather at this point, so I can't be carousing at night with a bunch of degenerates. You know what I'm saying?
Did you just call me a degenerate? Speaking
Not
of,
you, everybody else but you.
Another takeaway from the party
kidding,
that I had is I was having a conversation with another comedian. This isn't really putting out his business. It was DeRosa, and we were talking about underwear, and he said,
"Oh,
DeRosa wears just briefs, and he's always worn just briefs, like the tighty whitey style."
Yeah, a lot of people love those because it keeps you
packaged,
packaged, encapsulated, but whatever you want to call it.
I don't like it.
I don't like it. I get now that I wear boxer briefs.
That's what I wear
That's-
exclusively.
The invention of boxer briefs changed the game. Like, it's so funny. I don't think people realized how much they were going to change underwear in the future. You know what I mean? Like because you had boxers, and nobody thought to mix the two for how many years? They've been around for what, 20 years maybe?
Yeah.
Boxer briefs.
It was like keeping peanut butter and jelly separate.
But I was a boxers guy, and if you got the wrong boxers, like the ones I had as a kid, they would be like pantaloons. Like they'd be like you'd feel like you were wearing like adult diapers in your jeans.
When you're little,
They'd be too fluffy.
well, the thing with boxers was always like they look like they're shorts, but you can't wear them like walking around the house when you're a teenager because your little wiener's popping out
Exactly.
of that slit.
There's a very big slit in boxers.
When you sit a certain way and you spread your legs, it like opens up the little pouch.
what, easy, Madonna. What are you
And
doing?
everybody could see that Ray isn't such a kid anymore.
Are you taking pictures for the Ray Zawodni sex book that came out? The
No, I just like to
black
sit
and
with a
white
little-
photos of Ray just spread eagle in a chair.
I'm sorry, I like to get a little comfort and spread my wings.
No, but you're right. Boxers were way more inconvenienced for teenagers. Like it was the boxer hole was you come right through the boxer hole.
I've experimented with briefs.
I would wear briefs as like a little kid.
I experimented probably about 6-7 years ago. First time I was in New York City, I accidentally bought a package of briefs when I came out here to wear. Anytime I would go anywhere longer than like 3 days, I would buy new underwear. It's just a nice little tradition. And
Yeah, but it's so great. It's such a great feeling.
well, I accidentally bought regular briefs. And I was like, you know what? 27 years old or so. Maybe I'm a brief guy now. Maybe I've aged into it.
Yeah.
I didn't.
No.
They like dig, man.
It used to be an old man thing.
Especially in the heat. Yeah, my dad was a big brief, and he'd sit on the couch and just draw.
My dad would
whites.
My dad would just be in his room in just underwear, no top. Yeah. You know what's always weird about like if you're an older man in briefs, like
Men
for a
were
little
men.
kid it's fine because you're like, oh, it makes sense for a little kid to wear it.
Yeah.
Old man in briefs, if you don't have I have no butt, like it's weird. Like if I wore briefs, I'd have like a weird sag in the back on the it would just be gross.
Yeah, that's what my dad had.
Yeah.
My grandfather also used to have a pole, which was really nice.
It's like a wife beater, but for your pants.
It's an ass beater.
It's an ass beater.
Just an ass
exactly.
beater. An ass and dick beater.
But I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
No, that was that's hilarious. Well, my grandfather used to have a pool, and he was real diligent about taking care of his swimming pool. And he would go out and he would test all the levels of everything in the morning, and then he would lay out. But he would do all this in his tighty whites, and and there was nothing left to the imagination with this guy.
Yeah, that's because that's a lot of physical activity. It's like the Seinfeld episode where she's like, "There's good naked and there's bad naked," and she's like doing activities naked.
Which is true.
Yeah, it is true. Yeah, and Jerry Seinfeld's naked was bad naked. But in that episode, Jerry Seinfeld, incredible shape. The guy's like jacked. Yeah.
Very good shape.
But she's this woman he's dating is naked all the time, and she's like, ooh, got like her skin caught in the bicycle chain. And he's like, ugh. And he's like grossed out. And then he starts doing it to show her how weird it is. And she's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But your grandpa doing the pool stuff, there's a lot of stretching involved. And
Well, yeah, and they were
skimming a pool in your underwear is like,
they were low rise.
what are you, Hunter S. Thompson?
Yeah. But you couldn't say anything. Like I remember when I was a kid, I was like, "Can you put on like some regular swimming trunks?" And he'd be like, "Don't look then."
Well, you're right in front of me, Grandpa.
Like you're standing in front of me, and I could see your fucking old pubes.
My dad, he wasn't like an underwear. He was underwear in the house, maybe his room, around the house, maybe. But he was a short sandals, no topless, just letting it all hang out, and was like the size I used to be. Where it's like he was bigger than I am now, and just walk around the house, just doing sprinkler stuff, just completely topless. And it was like the only guy in my block that would do that.
That's powerful.
He didn't give a shit.
He's doing. It's a power move.
It was but also here's the thing. I could be wrong about this because you would think like, oh, people are judging him from across the street, whatever it is. I don't think anybody did. It kind of worked.
Yeah.
Like he was. No, I didn't bat an eye. I was like, yeah, this kind of makes sense. This guy looks like this right now. Like he had that vibe.
I don't have nearly the confidence.
I would never in a million years.
Do you sleep with a shirt off?
No, I can't. It's not. I don't even think it's an insecurity thing. I think it's a feeling thing.
Do you see? I sometimes.
It's just bottomless. A t-shirt, no bottoms.
I do that.
No, you
I Winnie
don't.
the Pooh.
No, you
Yes,
don't.
dude. I swear to God. Sometimes it happens on purpose, but other times
They just fall off.
No, in my sleep, I think I get hot
And
I just pull my pants off, but I don't pull my shirt off for some reason.
you're like a toddler.
Yeah. One
You
time
ever wake up and be surprised by it? You're like,
that I'm
what?
naked. Yeah.
You ever feel like you ever get woken up by the draft coming up your ball sack?
Yes. I've woken up like I've gotten so drunk that I've woke up like naked. One time I stayed over, my buddy Seneca.
Yeah.
I stayed over his house, and I may have told you this story before, but I got so drunk, and I wake up in his guest bedroom, and I am Winnie the Poohing, just a t-shirt, no bottoms, and at the side of the bed next to me are my jeans covered in piss.
Yeah. Okay.
So the light in that bathroom was on. So Seneca did some detective work after I left because the bed wasn't wet at all. I didn't pee the bed. He said what he thinks I did is I got up in my jeans, went to the bathroom. He said the toilet seat was up. There's no piss in it. Went in the bathroom, flicked the light on, lifted the toilet seat, and just pissed my pants. Forgot to do the last step, which is taking your dick out, and just pissed my pants, walked back, took the pants off, and laid in bed.
But that's the most courteous thing a blacked out person can do. Like it's like ooh, almost. Because think about it. Oh, I told you. Maybe I didn't ever tell you this story.
Ooh.
When I stayed at my cousin's one time, I told you this.
No.
And I was loaded, probably kind of blacked out, but not completely because I remember doing it. And I stayed in his basement. I was on the couch, or whatever it was. And right in front of the TV, it was all carpeted except for an area in front of the TV, which is like basement linoleum. Like it was like bathroom floor feeling,
Yeah.
right? So I must have gotten up in the middle of the night, thought I walked towards the bathroom, felt bathroom type flooring, and just took a piss right there in front of the TV. And the way I found out was the next morning I woke up, I opened my eyes kind of like half out of it, and I see a puddle right in front of the TV. And I went, that's weird. And then I went, oh, and I freaked, and I was like, oh my God. And I got out, and there was pee all over in front of the TV.
Did they find out?
I told them years later.
That's the way to do it.
And the other thing I told them I puked and I cleaned it up with my sock, and I must have chucked the sock behind the washer and without realizing it because I was so drunk.
Yeah.
And I told my cousin that as well, and he was like, it smelled in that room for like weeks after. Like, and I'm like, I'm sorry. I felt awful because I forgot that I did it, and then I finally remembered I told him a long time after.
So if somebody did that at your house,
I would excuse most drunk things.
You would, okay.
Because I know how it is.
I wonder how.
I only have a few instances where it happens, but if it was like if somebody stayed at the house and every night of the week they're like destroying my artifacts, you know what I mean, like from my archaeological digs that I go on. If they, but no, if it was ridiculous, like say it was a roommate and it was like you couldn't live with them because it was too much shit. I'm talking like once in a blue moon I do something like that. It's like I'm normally just pass out or I'm sober by the time I go to bed.
I was just wondering because I'm sure I've done some egregious shit that friends haven't told me about.
Well, I can tell you. I'll be honest right now. But we always like drank and then we go our separate ways.
Yeah.
But also me and you, if we're on the road, we drink, go back. It actually works out perfectly because we stayed in the same room about 6 months ago, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And we had a couple drinks and we go back and we just pass out. It wasn't even, and there was no like rambunctiousness or any kind of debauchery. It was just us getting drunk and going back and sleeping. So I don't have any interactions with you where it's like, dude, you fucking spit all over this, whatever that. I've never seen you do that. So I think like either you remember most of it, or I think your friends would be like, dude, you shit in my shoes or something crazy. You know what I mean? Well, you're
Yeah.
convinced you did stuff that nobody's told you?
Yeah, I think that was them like doing a thing of where like that's a hard confrontation to have with somebody. I think I'd be hard pressed to like if a friend did something when they were drunk like okay, you know what I compare it to is when I was a kid, I was like 13, 14, my mom was cleaning my room and she wasn't a snooper. She was just a neat freak. And she wanted to clean she saw my room was a little messy when she was walking past, went in, cleaned it, opened my desk drawer where I had weed, like a little nug of weed, and she just organized everything in my desk, including the weed, and shut it. And we never talked about it.
And she knew it was
She
weed.
never brought it
She
up.
knew it was weed.
Yeah, it smelled.
Yeah.
But like she never brought it up.
You know, my mom would not have known it was weed.
Oh, really?
She
That
does-
would have been nice.
Like if she smelled weed, she's like, what? She'll be like, what's that smell?
If she found like something that she knew what it was, would she confront you when you were like a teenager?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. She'd be like, what? Like if it was cigarettes or something?
Yeah.
That would have been a big problem.
What about
Because my grandmother smoked like my grandfather. Her dad died. No, her dad died of something else. But actually no, it might have been. But my grandmother.
her
had,
dad
like, part
died?
of
He was hit by a truck, but it was a Marlboro truck. Yeah.
But it was my grandmother had part of her tongue cut off because of cancer.
Jesus.
So just me knowing that, because I remember my grandmother, we called her Nanny, we knowing the difference between her voice with and without the piece of tongue, freaked me out from smoking. I've smoked 2 cigarettes in my life.
Was it that big of a difference?
It was, you couldn't understand what she was saying, and she would like to like dab her mouth. It was very like, as a kid, you're like, I don't want to have this happen to me. It was like it was like you know those warnings for the packs of cigarettes, like they have like in like Europe, you go and they have like the long
Pictures,
like black
yeah.
lung. It was like that, but every time I saw my grandmother. So I think about a wholesome thing just being like traumatized by like, oh my God, you have to go through this. And I feel terrible. So I'm never doing this. Like that also, don't get me wrong, I always thought smoking looked really cool.
It looks so cool.
So cool. Movies do it.
Like in a movie, like when you say something like cool and like in the middle of the hit and you say something like, well, looks like the Reaper just called my number. Best not keep him waiting.
Is that a
You know
line
what I
from
mean?
any movie ever?
No. I think it sounds cool though. If I write a movie, it's gonna say that.
Yeah,
Pretty
like
cool.
like I like the also like the one of the coolest smoking scenes ever in a movie is De Niro in the bar scene in Goodfellas when he's watching Maury come back and he's deciding if he's going to kill him or not. And he's walking back, and then Cream's playing, and he's smoking, and he's just kind of making these little tiny gestures, and it's badass.
Yeah, that's
it's
really
so
cool.
badass.
I think the flick's cool too. Is when they do the
Flick is great. I think they had that in Goodfellas too when they're waiting for the truck to hijack the truck at the diner, which is right over here, Jackson Hole Diner.
Yeah.
And he comes out, and I think it pulls up, and I think flicks his cigarette right before.
Yeah, Leota's a cool cig smoker.
Really? And I think
him smoking cigs in Copland.
Yes, and he smokes it like a frenzied cokehead.
He makes me want to be like an alcoholic in that movie. Like it's a really romantic, like fucking crazy guy at the bar, like fucking flipping out on everybody. He does a thing where he's always like wiping his eyes, kind of like he's just been through it. Like
he's Henry Hill in the third act of Goodfellas throughout that entire movie.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's a good take.
I've heard, somebody told me before.
No, it's original. We're allowed to take any takes
we can
that we
take
want.
whatever
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. It's but I will say this. Yeah, my mom would have definitely said, "Hey, what the hell is this?" Especially if it was something like cigarettes, weed. She wouldn't have known. I bring up like edibles and weed in front of her now, and she's like, "Oh, what is that?
What about pornogs?
What? Oh, porn?
Like pornography.
Porn? You call it pornogs?
Pornogs.
Pornog sounds like a mix between porn and pogs.
Pornogs. It's just pogs with titties on them. Oh, I got the new Jenna Jameson Slammer.
Pornogs. I never really.
Actually, the Slammers would be the male porn stars. It would be like the Wesley Pipes. You just. Slap.
Oh yeah, exactly. I never run into that issue. I only had. At any given time, I only had a couple of videotapes. I didn't have like you have friends that have like the freaking blockbuster of porn in their closet.
Yeah.
I never got. I'm trying to think where probably when nobody was home. Maybe I'd sneak and watch.
Nice.
And then when I was young, I think I would borrow. My friend had a Playboy. I'd borrow that and then give it back to him. So I never had enough contraband to get caught with it. And I don't know. That's one thing that she might have not said anything. She would have told my father, and he would have not said much either.
Yeah.
You know, like it's one of those things where that she would have been tight-lipped about. I think she would have been like not wanting to deal with it because it's like anything that's weird.
My dad would have been like proud if he found it. He'd have been like, nice.
Take it out for a milkshake.
He would have stole it off me, actually. I would have had to find it on him later somewhere.
You're like, hey, Dad, where'd my porn go?
Dude, I don't know. Just your brother? I didn't see anything.
You're a little kid, so he like makes up a story. He's like, the CIA came and they took it from me. You're not allowed to have that, kid. Making up some shit.
Dude, that guy... That's where I used to steal his Playboys.
You know what I realized is this, and I kind of hate. This is how Catholic in the back, deep seated in my brain, I am that I feel bad saying this. I've never thought about the idea of porn and my dad owning any. I don't think he did. I honestly don't think he did. I don't think he had any, but he.
Okay. All right, dude. I don't think
we
it is.
We can't clip this.
We're not going to clip it. I'll get in trouble. It's his 45th birthday, and he just said, "You can't clip that. I'll get in trouble."
But I honestly don't. I don't think he did that.
Oh,
that's where I live in my. That's why I'm not, an actual adult.
I know for a fact. I've caught my dad watching it, and instead of him shutting it off, he's like, "Why don't you stay up in your room a little longer?" He wasn't cranking. He was just, which is actually grosser. He was just sitting there watching it, like on the phone. Like,
hey, I like porn as much as the next gentleman, but I will say, if you're a guy who just watches it and there's no follow up with some physical activity, like either with your lady or your dude or yourself, that's the creepiest thing you can do.
It's
is
weird.
watch porno and then just leave and go do regular errands.
like watch until the credits.
It's like a Marvel movie for you. You wait for the after credit scenes from a porno.
Nah, I gotta see what's gonna happen in the next one. They do it after you gotta watch and see who the key grip was first.
Let me ask you this: that we're on the topic. Do you think back in the day, if it was like the 70s, would you have been a guy who went to a porno theater?
No,
me neither. I don't think I would ever.
I would have wanted to probably.
Yeah, I would have wanted to, but I don't. I definitely would not have gone.
They don't exist at all, right?
No, not anymore. Maybe they have like I don't know throwbacks,
and it is just
the town square. That's. when they're doing historical tours of town.
Put it in fucking wait.
And that's the old Cummings Theater.
Wait, where's that place? Like Busch Gardens. It's near Busch Gardens. Where's the place in Virginia? Like
Colonial Williamsburg.
Colonial Williamsburg. They just updated a little bit. It's like back in the 70s, there used to be whole movie theaters where men could go there and relieve themselves. Step on in and have a seat.
That would be hilarious. They just kept it up for the historical, and like you have a town group that's like for the preservation of the porn. people for the it's like PPPPP. People for the preservation of porno theaters. PPPT.
Made famous by the film Taxi Driver, directed by Martin Scorsese.
Yeah, that's
man.
hilarious. If you just like porn artifacts. Like that's why there's never been that's why the porn studio system is like just somebody's apartment. You know what I mean? Like it's not like everybody just. It's so funny. We have this thing with it where
we have higher production.
Now,
we have higher production with our podcast than most porns do now. It's like a blurry cell phone camera.
But there's one of these things where it's like, I do think that even though people are like so sex positive now, why isn't there like a Paramount of porn then at this point? Why? Because the industry makes. You don't have to.
You mean a streaming app?
No. I mean, meaning like, why isn't there one? Pornhub is a site, right? But there's why don't they ever?
I never
heard of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Sure. And
No, my dad never watched porn. He was busy feeding the homeless or whatever your dad did too.
well, I think it's a euphemism when you meant feeding the chickens.
Oh.
What you call it? No, but I'm saying like, shouldn't there be a conglomerate? Like, and there is like giant companies in it, but never where they got to the level of like a movie studio. You know what I mean? That's why it's like Hollywood. That's why you're still gonna have the shame factor of it because everybody watches it. Some people want to watch it more than movies in a movie theater at this point. So yeah, it's not a theater system, but there should be like so many more highly produced porn than there is.
Well, dude, when you go onto a porn website, one of the big ones, like the big three.
Like which one? Like
XNXX, RedTube,
and
this Pornhub. And when you go,
that's how you know. Also, what does Pornhub have a Law and Order SVU sound?
Is that what I did?
It kind of sounds like.
Dun dun. Boom doom boom doom 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 boom. What's that? Is that also Law and Order?
Law and Order.
Yeah.
Doom
Doom doom boom boom doom boom. Well, they if you look at those porn videos, I would kill for some of those numbers. You go to like an XNXX, this video's got millions of views.
That's what I mean. So that translates to how many ad dollars. You know what I mean? Like from the site where it's like,
they're making. So you think those sites are making a lot of money off of ads because they're giving away a lot of free content, and
there's so many ads on those sites.
Yeah, but the ads are usually just like for companies that I would assume don't have a lot of money because they're all for either like dick pill companies, watch cartoons have sex companies, or stop jerking off by yourself companies, or the play this game and I bet you can't not come in 3 minutes. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do. Also, I love how you're like watching cartoons have sex companies. Like that's like a growing industry. Like,
well, that's what I don't
that's
think
the new tech. There's a cartoon porn bubble going on.
Well, I wonder who actually watches that one.
Which one?
Where it's like Peter Griffin fucking Marge Simpson.
I think more people than you think, and not me. And I would admit it right now if I did.
More people.
I think people are just watching those. Like I remember seeing when those first started coming out. I think when you're younger, you're like, oh, it's funny to see that. But I don't know who's watching that and going, I'm aroused by that.
Well, I just wonder where that came from. Like who was watching Doug and was like, man, I'd really like to see Skeeter's hog.
Because sex permeates the minute sex gets involved. Watch, we can put a clip about sex and it'll do better than most of our clips that we have me and you talking. If it's just like porn, actually no, if you put the word porn online now, it
gets weird.
They get weird about it, even though everybody loves porn all the time, every day. Most people, 99% of the people. Well, let's switch gears because we gotta get out of here.
We do,
but this was a really fun.
This was really fun
for Sean Donnelly.
The last thing that I wanted to ask Sean is just the last question is that we talk a lot about our confidence here on the show and and kind of we've touched on this before like things that like make a dude masculine or like things that like make you feel like a real man. Like we talk about like giving directions, like that like dad thing of like being able to like tell everybody where to go, which you're pretty good at. But what do you think is another skill that you wish you had?
Oh, I don't know if this counts. You mean like as far as interacting with people? Or you mean it's just anything?
Just like a
cars,
man's
fixing cars. I wish I was being handy. You could put that in the basket of like just overall being handy. Where it's like I know the ins and outs of building everything in this apartment. I could fix it no problem if I want to. 100%. That's what I wish I had. I'm just an idiot, and I never. If you apply yourself, you could do it. And there's stuff I could do, but I wish that I almost had like a job doing that stuff because it's like anytime I've worked one of those jobs where you kind of. Believe me, it's never like I'm building a house, but it's like, but if you're around that and you're doing anything manual, even if the level of just helping and bringing stuff, I always feel accomplished at the end of the day.
You want to be a gearhead.
Yeah. A gearhead from Dundalk. Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's true. Like I like that would feel so cool to like, you know, one of your buddies is like, dude, like my fucking car's messed up. I have no idea what's wrong with it. It's making this like clicking sound, and you're like,
and you just know
you're
right
like,
away.
Did you check the mainframe manual calculator trapper?
This is the computer for Minority Report.
Continuum.
Have you checked the mainframe terminal?
Have you looked at have you turned the? Did you do this with the key? Did you turn the key to the?
That's what I would say.
Okay,
that'd be my thing.
Turn the key back 3 times. Turn it once. Let me know.
I know nothing. I would just give them my advice I give people for iPhones. Did you try restarting it? Turn it on and turn it back off.
What you want to do is unscrew where you'd put the coolant in and just spit in it. And then shut it back. And then tap the steering wheel 3 times. All my advice would be Fonzie advice.
Mine would just be Nintendo advice. I'd be like, pop the hood and just blow on the engine. I'm like, hey, that's the only technical stuff I know.
And then just go in there and ABBA, and you should get there in way faster than normal.
Have you tried the code from Contra? The 30 life code from Contra? Well, this has been a blast.
It has been.
Where can they find us? At Ray B. Killingham.
Oh, you can find me at Ray B. Killingham on all social media. You could find Sean Donnelly at Shawnee Time. And that is where we're usually collaborating on our reels that we do, showing clips of the podcast. But really the best place to go for Brand New Jerks is to our YouTube channel.
Yes, check it out.
Brand New Jerks. Subscribe, comment on the videos. Let us know what you think. We have the shorts out there as well as full video episodes.
We just had an episode with Mark Norman that's doing fantastic, and we're going to have more guests for you guys. So please, please, please sign up for the YouTube. It helps us keep this going every week.
Helps us tremendously. And we're also on TikTok at Brand New Jerks Pod. If you ever have any questions or want topics spoken about, we're at brandnewjerks@gmail.com.
We'll see you guys.
Bye.
Bye.